Hey folks, Tanner Cherney up here in Devils Lake, North Dakota. As you can see again this week, not out fishing yet. Ice is pretty much turned to garbage. There is some open water starting to open up underneath the bridges at like Mavic Coulee and 6 Mile Bay. I know a few people have been out just to say they wetted a line. Might be a little bit here before we start to see some activity with that. You know, we've got some sunny days here in the forecast. We've got North Dakota wind coming that's going to help move and shift that ice around. And biggest thing is that snow on the ice is melted and there's a lot of standing water out there that's ripping that ice apart. So won't be long, but like I said last week, we touched on a few tips on one of the simplest forms of fishing when it comes to shore fishing in the spring or even from a boat on Devils Lake, which is just a jig and a plastic. Super convenient, super simple, and an effective way to catch walleyes and pike. So this week, obviously just wanted to touch on ice conditions, but to coincide with the jig and plastic, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the other thing that happens when you're springtime fishing up here in Devils Lake. You're going to get into a lot of pesky pike. You're going to be fishing shallow. You may catch 3-4 walleyes and then catch 3, 4, or 5 pike. We all know they're very toothy critters, and there's nothing more frustrating than sitting in a boat or on shore and having to retie every 4th or 5th cast because those pike are breaking you off. So, you know, back in the day, we used to use steel leaders. Things have changed. The technology has advanced. Lures and equipment have advanced. I just wanted to give you guys a quick snippet of what I use, and I know a lot of guys in the area and in the Midwest use this, whether they're vertical jigging, pitching jigs, pitching crankbaits, but just having a simple leader, whether you're talking a foot to 2 foot. I almost got about an 18-inch leader here, and what I like to do, I've got fire line or any kind of braided line is great, helps you rip out of the rocks, rip out of the weeds, but then I've got about 18 inches or so of a fluorocarbon leader here. Great option. The nice thing about this is if you tie your own spinners in the summer, you can also use this for that as well. But again, just another durable way. A, if you end up vertical jigging, those fish are not going to be able to see that line as well. And B, when you do get into bigger walleyes or all those pike, you're not going to have to worry about that ripping up and shredding of your lines. So just a quick tip to use as you're getting ready. You know, this spring, it's not a bad idea to maybe have, you know, a dozen or two of these, 2 dozen 18-inch pieces already cut up and ready to be tied on so that you can be more efficient and effective. So just one thing to try when you're on your way up to Devils Lake this spring, whether you're in the boat or from shores. Pull out an 18 to 24 inch leader and you'll thank us later. For those that are heading out again yet this week and are, you know, finding some spots to fish, or you're out hiking or doing whatever, or even snow goose hunting, you know, we've got that going on through here for the next few weeks. Use hashtag Devils Lake ND. We love seeing what you're doing out and about. Spring is definitely here. Everyone's got cabin fever from this last winter. It was a long one. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have this rod out on the shore and we're catching walleyes. But for now, we're going to give you some tips as we move into that open water bite. So thanks again for following along. Stay tuned next week for the next tip.